Breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Raleigh carjacking. 2 children were inside a car when a suspect, 2 in fact, took off in Raleigh. How police were able to safely track down the suspect and the children.
And some light showers on this Friday morning. Less rain chances for the weekend, and temperatures getting close to 90 degrees. I'll let you know how hot we'll get next week coming up.
And a community in mourning. The funeral for 10-year-old Brooklyn Carroll is happening this morning after she was killed in a boating crash. How she's being remembered by her family. Thank you so much for joining us on your Friday morning. We have a lot to get to. I'm Michelle McConaughey.
And I'm Chris Lovingood. I almost forgot my own last name for a second there. Yep, I'm Chris Lovingood.
Chris Lovingood.
No, I was actually going to also hand it over to Grant Skinner because, Grant, I think the last couple of days we've had some activity weather-wise, but it's calmed down significantly today.
Yeah, fortunately, radar's a lot quieter than the past couple of days. You can see on Dual Doppler 5000, just some brief showers, maybe some drizzle out there this morning, but a huge difference in the past couple of days. We're going to see more brief showers this morning, but again, a very wet start to the month. 4.52 inches. That's 3.51 inches above normal. We had even more rain yesterday. And second coldest start on record with temperatures averaging around 72 degrees across our area. Fortunately, some places getting some breaks in the cloud cover. You can see Goldsboro, a mix of clouds and maybe some sunshine trying to peek through the sunrise. You see some pinks mixed in there. It's trying this morning. We have some extra cloud cover still across our area, and we'll see a few breaks of the clouds this afternoon, which will make a couple of spots warmer. Otherwise, this morning, upper 60s and low 70s. I'll break down how warm we'll get this afternoon and for the weekend coming up in a bit.
And happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center, we got a real situation brewing on I-295 South. I just checked with Michael Jordan, our WRAL Breaking News tracker, who lives in Fayetteville, actually, and he tells me that I-295, this section actually runs through Fort Bragg. So we're trying to get some more information, but the crash happened right here on I-295 South on Riley Road. So many of you have some local options, but Cliffdale Road is an option, South Skyborough Road, the All-American Freeway, all options to get around what's happening there on 295. Bringing it back to Wake County, here's a live look at I-40 and Jones Sausage Road. Traffic is beginning to pick up just a little bit. Those are the westbound lanes moving toward us this morning. As far as other major routes into the capital city, no delays whatsoever. Just about a 1-minute delay if you're coming in from Wake Forest and US 1 and Capitol Boulevard. Over in Durham, very little to no delays on most of those major routes. You're getting ready to head into the car, though. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
2 children are safe this morning after police say they were taken during a carjacking. Now, this happened outside of Food Lion near New Bern Avenue in Raleigh. And WRAL's Ali Kadhabar is there and the Breaking News Tracker. Ali, we're talking about 2 people facing charges in this.
Yes, Chris. So court documents that came out overnight claim that Shardaza Alston and Mateo Medina, they are accused of stealing a black Mazda. And Raleigh police also say that a 4-year-old boy and 11-year-old girl with autism, they were in the back seat. This is video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker of where this all happened at a Food Lion parking lot. Court documents show that Alston pulled a woman out of the car and punched her. Both Alston and Medina stole the car and took the children. Officers arrested them around 11:30 last night. Police say it was a domestic dispute. At least one person was taken to the hospital, and both are facing a slew of charges, including first-degree kidnapping. We're working to find out what led up to this incident, as well as the relation between the driver and Alston and Medina. Also, we know that they are both expected to appear in court at 1:30 this afternoon. Reporting in Raleigh, Ali Kadhabar, WRAL News.
And we do have another breaking story that we've been following this morning. Deputies in Durham are searching for a suspect they say ran off during a chase. That chase ended on I-85 North near Duke Street around 2 o'clock this morning. Deputies say the driver of a white SUV drove off the off-ramp, and then at the end of the chase, well, they haven't been caught yet. So we are still trying to figure out why deputies were chasing that driver to begin with.
Part of Interstate 295 shut down in Cumberland County after an overnight crash. The WRAL Breaking News Tracker was out on the scene near Cliffdale Road. Nearly a dozen Fort Bragg military vehicles, police and fire were there. A car was spotted being towed away. We are trying to learn more about what caused the crash and whether anybody was hurt.
Teams in Durham have been at the scene of a downed tree this morning. And what you're seeing here is video from the WRAL breaking news tracker on North Roxborough Street. Some of the big limbs from that tree did fall on power lines, but there are no reported outages in that area, at least not right now.
A Wake County community is gathering today to mourn the tragic loss of 10-year-old Brooklyn Carroll. Brooklyn was killed after being hit by a boat over the weekend on Harris Lake. This is video of her dancing and laughing with her dad, Matt. It was taken just last month. And people will be in Apex this morning to pay their respects to her. That's where we find WRAL's Monica Casey. And Monica, the family says that she touched so many lives.
Brooklyn Carroll's family and friends will gather here at the Apex Funeral Home later today to honor her life. She was just 10 years old when she died on Harris Lake last weekend. Her family calls her a shining light. According to her obituary, the rising fifth grade student loved riding horses, playing with her pets, and had a silly sense of humor. She also dreamed of becoming a teacher. Her family is establishing the Brooklyn May Carroll Scholarship Fund to be awarded to an aspiring veterinarian each year. Now, 2 people have been charged in the incident that killed Brooklyn, the driver of the boat and the owner of that boat. Live in Apex, Monica Casey, WRAL News.
And as Monica just mentioned there, these are the 2 people charged. Investigators say Quentin Kite was driving the boat. He is charged with DWI, impaired boating, and other charges. Anne Marie Flanagan owns the boat. She is charged with felony death by impaired boating and other charges.
The Israeli Security Cabinet approved Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's plan to occupy Gaza City, and that's despite widespread opposition and protests across Israel. The plan to occupy Gaza City is expected to displace around 1 million Palestinians, and the Israeli military intends to house them in compounds. Sources say Netanyahu's plan will take up to 5 months to accomplish. He says he will hand control over to Arab forces once Hamas has been removed. But Netanyahu has also pushed for a complete takeover of Gaza.
And here in the WRAL Live Center, you mentioned some of those protests happening around Israel. I can tell you there have also been some clashes with Israeli police there as protesters call for hostages to be released as well as an end to the war in Gaza after Netanyahu announced that plan to take over Gaza. Now, there have been some reactions from critics to this, including the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, who wrote in his statement, "The war in Gaza must end now, and Israelis and Palestinians must be allowed to live side by side in peace."
And back here at home, people who live on Cornwallis Road in Durham are upset about regular flooding and sinkholes. Take a look at this video here. Today, they will take their concerns to city leaders. They say that the roads are filled with water during heavy rain. There have been several reported sinkholes in the neighborhood, the largest nearly the size of a football field. People who live there say Durham Housing Authority fenced in the sinkholes after months of their complaints. But as adults and small children, they can easily get through.
When we first discovered the sinkholes, it was balls in over the gates. The smaller one up there, it's literally a bicycle in it. So just imagine what the kids are doing when nobody's around watching.
And today at noon, a group of teenagers and adults living in the community are gathering at the Weaver Recreation Center to talk to city leaders about the problems they say persist in their community.
There's a growing memorial in Nash County for 2 people who were swept away in floodwaters. The family tells WRAL Raymond Evans Jr. was with his stepdaughter, Lottie Alston. They were coming home from a medical appointment Wednesday, and that's when they got caught up in floodwaters on Lewisburg Road in Spring Hope and ended up in a ravine. Well, Spring Hope Police Lieutenant Jason Leary jumped in to save them, but he couldn't get to them. Their bodies were found when the water receded.
The State Board of Elections has a busy agenda at today's meeting. North Carolina's 2025 elections will focus on local races. Voters across the state will elect mayors, county commissioners, and other city or county leaders. Some races are later this fall, but a few towns have elections starting in September, now just a few weeks away. Today's election board meeting should finalize some details for those upcoming races. The board could vote today on early voting sites, voter ID rules, and more. Check in for updates online at the NC Capitol section of WRAL.com.
North Carolina School Superintendent Mo Green's new plan for public schools is getting ready to launch. It received approval from the State Board of Education, and the plan includes teacher training and student services, such as health care, among other things. It calls for a new teacher licensing system and more surveying of families and students. The goal is to also provide more access to career and college opportunities while students are still in school. Green says having enough money for schools across the state, that is crucial.
We definitely heard in our community is a need for additional funding, particularly to pay teachers, for example. And so that's in the plan as well, how we advocate for additional funding.
Now, the plan officially launches on August 20th with a celebration at Neuse River Middle School in Raleigh and a tour across the state.
Time now 6:10 on your Friday morning. A deadly helicopter crash. 2 people killed after the helicopter landed on a barge on the Mississippi River. What investigators say the people on board were doing moments before that went down.
And homecoming safety. A local university is making changes because 4 people were shot on campus last year. Why some say these changes are necessary.
And temperatures starting in the mid to upper 60s, a couple of spots in the low 70s on this Friday morning, warming up throughout the weekend. I'll tell you how much will warm up, and we'd expect more chances for showers and storms in the next week. That's coming up.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM, in Durham 96.5 FM, and everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
All right, coming up on 6:14 on this Friday morning, a lot of low cloud cover this morning and some brief showers possible as well. This is a view from Raleigh. There's been a couple of showers there this morning. I've seen some wetness on the lens there from those drizzle or light showers. Temperatures in the mid to upper 60s this morning for most spots. There are a few spots in the low 70s. Fayetteville at 70, Clinton at 70 degrees, Goldsboro at 71, Roxborough at 66, Rocky Mount sitting at 69. Again, a lot of stubborn cloud cover and some brief showers are possible. Head to the mountains, temperatures in the mid-80s for a lot of spots, other spots in the 70s and 60s, depending on elevation, of course. You'll see some scattered cloud cover and some areas of fog. Less rain for the weekend. Saturday, looking at temperatures in the mid to upper 80s for some spots, other spots in the 70s, some areas of fog and some scattered clouds. Ken?
All right, some good news to report for friends in Cumberland County, particularly those at Fort Bragg using I-295 East as a commute this morning. That crash is cleared, so I-295 eastbound lanes all completely open right now. So I want to bring it back to Wake County. This crash on Lumley Road in the eastbound lane near I-540 happened just a little while ago, but we're not seeing any delays in the area, so just watch for some police activity. Just in case you do have a flight to RDU International, we've checked all the major routes. They're all delay-free at this hour.
All right, thank you, Ken. A major wildfire is burning just north of Los Angeles. The Canyon Fire erupted yesterday afternoon. It has already burned more than 5,000 acres. It's still growing despite a triple-digit heat wave. During a triple-digit heat wave, evacuations have been ordered for people who live nearby. The cause of the fire is still unknown. It is one of at least 4 wildfires now burning in Southern California.
The U.S. is doubling its bounty for Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. Attorney General Pam Bondi announced a $50 million reward for information leading to his arrest. She called Maduro a, quote, major narco trafficker, end quote, and a threat to national security. Bondi accused him of working with drug cartels to smuggle dangerous substances and violence into the United States.
2 people are dead after a helicopter crash on the Mississippi River. Witnesses say the helicopter appeared to touch a power line. It burst into flames and fell onto a barge. Missouri Highway Patrol says crews were on board trying to work on power lines. Nobody on the barge was hurt. The FAA and National Transportation Safety Board are investigating.
2 Pennsylvania state troopers are recovering this morning after an ambush shooting. Those troopers were responding to a welfare check near Scranton when they were shot. The suspect was shot and killed, and the troopers were flown to the hospital after that shooting.
Changes are coming to this year's NC Central homecoming. The university is increasing safety at what is often called the ultimate homecoming experience. That's after 4 people were shot during the homecoming on its campus last October. This year, no visitors will be able to park on campus. On-campus parking will be reserved for university faculty, staff, and students. Also, all celebrations will end by 6:30 p.m. on Friday and Saturday, and the campus will close by 7 p.m. Central's homecoming festivities begin October 17th. They run through October 25th when the Eagles play Delaware State. A star-studded home run derby, Broadway in the Triangle, and a summer concert series.
It's time for a look at your out and about best bets for the weekend. Home Run Derby X returns to the Durham Bulls Athletic Park tomorrow night at 7 p.m. The best way to summarize that competition is basically a home run derby with defense. Now, this year's lineup is star-studded, including former big leaguers like Andrew Jones, Ryan Zimmerman, and Manny Ramirez.
And the Tony-winning musical The Wiz will be stopping in the Triangle this weekend as part of a nationwide tour. The show will be at the Durham Performing Arts Center starting tonight and will run through Sunday evening. Tickets are available online, and this is the first tour for this production in 40 years.
Yeah, it's been a minute. And the city of Raleigh is hosting its summer concert series this weekend at Fred Fletcher Park. Weather permitting, the Holly Springs Community Band is putting on a free show at 6 p.m. Sunday. You are encouraged to bring your own blankets and your chairs, as well as food and drink. And for more weekend fun, you can visit WRAL.com and search Out and About. Every time I hear the words weather permitting, I'm like, I wonder who could answer that question.
I know, and I have a good idea. I think it's Grant Skinner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. Grant.
Yeah, maybe some brief showers this weekend, but lower rain chances in the past couple of days, fortunately. What I think a lot of people are looking forward to, if you are a fan of the warmer temperatures, again, it's probably some mixed reviews here. I know Chris Levingood, fan of the cooler temperatures, but temperatures back to around 90 degrees by the middle of next week. So finally back to more of that summertime feel in the middle of next week, more what it should feel like in August. Again, 79 for the high today, but then mid-80s by Sunday, closer to 90 by Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, a bit warmer by the end of next week. So a warm-up is ahead after some very cool temperatures across the region, around 15 degrees to 20 degrees cooler than average, thanks to the low cloud cover and some lingering rain across our area. Still some brief showers and some drizzle out there this morning. You see a few showers right over Jordan Lake this morning. So this is just to the east of Pittsboro, working its way east. So Pittsboro, you see a couple of brief showers over the next 15 to 30 minutes. And further south, just to the south and west of Irwin and Dunn, south of Lillington, there are some brief showers north of Wade. These are slowly working their way west. This is very, very brief. Actually looking a little bit brighter from our WRAL Gardens camera there. You can see a little bit brighter from maybe some breaks in the cloud cover this morning, but could see some drizzle as well. Temperatures in the upper 60s and low 70s to start. By this afternoon, it will be a touch warmer than yesterday, mid to upper 70s, some spots reaching the low 80s if you can see some breaks in the cloud cover. I want to break that down on Futurecast. Through around 9:45 a.m., some brief showers possible, so through mid-morning, mostly quiet, but some brief showers can't be ruled out. 1, 2 o'clock, we could see some breaks in the clouds. This Futurecast run is not showing as many breaks, but some breaks in the cloud cover are possible. We'll have some brief showers and some storms. That range hits around 40% by this afternoon and into the evening, then quieter later tonight. But again, more brief showers can't be ruled out, and also some brief showers and storms closer to the coastline as well. Temperatures in the mid-80s by the end of the weekend, low to mid-90s by the middle of next week, with rain chances sticking around, staying isolated though. Ken?
All right, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. A couple incidents I want to bring your attention to. First, this crash on Lake Wheeler Road, not far from I-40 westbound. We're not seeing any delays in the area, but just be sure to watch for some police activity. If Lake Wheeler Road is part of your morning commute, it's not far from the State Farmers Market. This crash on Lovely Road, it's at I-540. Again, the sensors are not picking up any delays whatsoever in the area, so just be mindful of that. Speaking of I-540, here's a live look at I-540 and Highway 70. Not much traffic to report in that section of, because I know many of you use I-540 as an alternate route, so free and clear this morning. Similarly, all the major routes are relatively delay-free in the capital city, and we're seeing the same thing in Durham this time of the morning. Very little to no delays whatsoever going into the Bull City. You're getting ready to head out the door. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
An unnerving display. A noose spotted hanging inside a Wendy's in Cary. The explanation the restaurant gave before removing it from sight.
And a robocall crackdown. North Carolina leading a nationwide effort against scam calls. Why state leaders are calling for an aggressive approach.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
The Office spin-off series and rubber ducks on the Chicago River.
Yeah, we've got Ken Smith here. Anything with ducks, she loves that. Ken, what we got going on?
Yeah, Chris and Michelle, the first trailer, let's start there, of the Office spin-off series is out. The Paper is a new mockumentary about a local newspaper in Toledo, Ohio. By the way, the film crew is the same one that followed the Dunder Mifflin Paper Company for years in Scranton, Pennsylvania. This new series stars Donald Gleason.
And then they have the actor who played Oscar in The Office in there, too. People will not let go of The Office.
No.
Yeah, I'm going to say something controversial.
Uh-oh.
I feel like Parks and Rec, a lot funnier. I say it every time. I'm just saying.
I've never seen
I think it's way funnier.
NBC executives want to have a word with you, Chris.
Yeah, exactly.
And now to the Chicago Ducky Derby. Tens of thousands of ducks dumped into the Chicago River as part of this annual tradition. The Derby is a good cause, though. People can adopt a duck for $10. That donation goes to Special Olympics Illinois.
Yeah, rubber ducks, not real ducks. The yellow rubber ducks. It's amazing. So far, they have raised $600,000 with the Ducky Derby. So that is fantastic. All the ducks, they were retrieved from the river.
Good.
They're going to be used again next year.
Environmentally friendly.
Yes, exactly. All right, thank you, Ken. A rare discovery off the North Carolina coast. A man found a 6-inch megalodon tooth. Christian Corbett found it 30 miles off the coast of Wilmington. He is the owner of the Encounter Scuba Diving Center, and as you can imagine, he spends a lot of time in the ocean. Corbett says that he came across the monster tooth on his second day of fossil hunting.
Across the bottom so that we can navigate back to where we're finding teeth at. Swimming that line, and the line lays perfectly over the tooth. Like the strangest place to find it. It's like destiny. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Wow. A representative from the Aurora Fossil Museum says finding megalodon teeth off the North Carolina coast is somewhat rare, but it gets easier after a storm churns up the ocean floor. Corbett says he sells many of the fossils and megalodon teeth that he finds. That big one sold for $350.
Goodness,
Wow.
Tooth Fairy working overtime giving that one, right? A baby sea turtle is now back in the ocean after being rescued. This happened in Kill Devil Hills in the Outer Banks. The group Kill Devil Hills Ocean Rescue says that baby sea turtle washed ashore this week. They managed to carefully pick it up, put it in a bucket with some sand in it, and let it rest and recover. And around 10 to 15 minutes later, they released that turtle back into the ocean. Yay, turtle. Your time is 6:27. Suspects arrested, 2 children safe. What led up to the children being taken during a carjacking overnight?
And remembering Brooklyn Carroll, the memories her loved ones are sharing as they prepare to lay her to rest today.
And I'm watching a few showers on Doppler 5000. I'll break down your rain chances for the rest of your Friday. We'll have some changes coming into next week. I'll let you know how warm we'll get. That's coming up.